Welcome back to the chat right here on ChannelOne TV with me, Call Kumsin. You can find me on all social media platforms at PK_Kumsin. Kumsin spells with a double N. The chat is a show that we get to delve deeper into conversations in the entertainment industry and actually, bring very matured minds. That's a word. Very matured minds here to actually engage in an intellectual discourse where we dissect issues, where we put flesh to skeletons to actually throw more light on some of these industry conversations that we normally have. I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, we lost a legend, that Daddy Lumba, Charles Kojo Fosu. And I mean, so many years ago, we also lost another legend, that's Michael Jackson. Now, when Daddy Lumba passed, a lot of people felt like, hey, I mean, he's bigger than Michael Jackson. Some felt like he's not. And then now the whole conversation of who is a legend when it comes to Daddy Lumba and Michael Jackson, who is a legend. And for us here on the chat, today we want to just go into what gives somebody, or how does somebody earn the status legend, especially when you're a musician. What do you have to do to be tagged a legend in our music industry? And I have here in studio one-time Deputy Artist of the Year. That was his name on the streets. But yeah, I'm talking about my own brother, Germain Portfolio. David, how you doing, bro?
My brother, good to be here.
Nice. Finally,
it's about to go down.
Finally. I mean, we've been planning this for like how many years?
God knows how many years.
But we're finally here to have a conversation. Right. I'm really honored to have you here. How's Kumasi?
Same here. Of course, city is alive. We are faring well. And I think I've said that people should take a trip back to Kumasi. If you've not been to Kumasi in the last 5 years, you get lost actually, because it's a whole new Dubai in Ghana on its own. So people should take a trip. With our international airports, with the sprouting of facilities, the finest of hotels, in this 5-star flashiness and all that. You guys should take a trip to Kumasi and experience. I mean, the whole Kumasi ambience. Say kutu, say bam. Go there and see Kumasi.
With the easy one. What talk Kumasi about? Anyway, and then also I have here. For him, it's right. He earns the status a legend. Fred Mensah here with me in studio as well. Uncle Fred, how are you doing?
But with this name, therefore, I forget him.
Was there? Am I But how are you doing, Uncle Fred?
Oh, fine, Charlie. When the rainbow falls.
Yeah. Say,
you're just looking up to God, what God will give us. That's right.
Nice one.
We are not on our own. That's right.
Why? Anyway, I mean, yesterday we also, later this week, we laid to rest our fallen heroes who, we departed in their line of duty. I mean, if you have any message for the families, we can do that before we get into our conversation.
My condolences to them.
Yeah.
As I always say, you take your age from 70. If you take your age from 70, you know that you're on the path. But that's why when you're leaving your home, you say, when I'm going, by God's grace,
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah, Charlie, it happens. Yeah, you can never fight nature.
Nice.
My condolences to the family.
Sure. Portfolio?
For once, let's be human before politicians. To look at this from political lenses would be very, very insensitive. That is people's breadwinners. That is someone's father, brother, family member. In one way or the other, they died on national assignment in their quest to take a decision that was going to affect you, your kids, posterity, and generations after. If you politicize this, you are being inhuman. Our heart goes out to them and their family. And forever, they will remain in our books for at least die in the course of an ideal national duty. And we sympathize with the family.
Wow. Thank you very much for doing that. And I've been saying it that, they died in their line of duty. So we want to say, may their souls continue to rest in perfect peace. But let's circle back to our conversation. We just saw, two beautiful songs, similar ideas, but different artists. We are talking about DL and Michael Jackson that we played there. But let me start with you, Uncle Fred. When we hear this whole thing of legend, especially in our music industry, how would you define legend? Let's start from there.
A legend is someone who has specialized in his field of duty. For instance, I'm into music production and sound engineering of 40 years experience. So if you tag me as a legend, it is deemed fit for you to do so. So most of the people that we call legends, they've blazed the trail in terms of their performance, their actions, their contribution to society over a certain period of time. So legendary status is not given to anybody who has been in the particular industry for some few years for him to learn to get that kind of accolades. No. You have to work for it.
You have to work for it.
You have to work for it.
All right. Now, Portfolio, how much work do you have to put into it to be able to say, this guy, I think this guy is a legend? Because it looks like we are throwing it left, right, front, back, center. Everybody wakes up, this guy is a legend, that guy is a legend.
Top of mind awareness. At the mention of a particular sphere, in the heat of a discussion, and the center of discussion, if there are 10 people talking about the same thing, the same issue, and someone who represents or symbolizes that thing, if you are 10 people discussion, at least 8 should top of mind reference you, either as a pioneer or a special contributor to that very thing that has influenced people or made that culture have a seat. So if you are discussing top of mind, if you are talking about production, of course, Uncle Fred, if you are 8 over here discussing how production has evolved from generations till now, obviously 8 of us who are well-meaning people and know about the game, top of mind should think of Uncle Fred. Puts him in the legendary basket automatically. But the word legend is, I think we have dictionary definition or the Queen's language definition to who a legend is, and culture definition. Culture is respective to a community. Every culture has its own languages. So in entertainment, what we would tag or who we tag as a legend would differ from the Queen's or dictionary definition of what a legend is, because that is general. But every sphere defines its legend according to their own script. And in our case, it might be different. So the dictionary centers on extremely. It means that anyone can be popular for something. Anyone can make a name for something. You can even be notorious and be a legend.
You can be notorious and be a legend. Okay.
Being a legend has got nothing to do with positives.
Okay.
Yes, you can be a legendary kleptomaniac. You are a legend. You can be a legendary robber. When you watch Prison Break, that movie, the expertise and the knowledge how that criminal, that Scofield escaped is legendary. And it's so unorthodox that in that field, won't to me no, leave it for him. You even need to tap in when you want to go the same line. It's legend. So legendary does not have a positive tag. The essence or the premise of what that underlies legendary is being extreme and extraordinary in that field.
In that field. All right. Now, when does competition influence your legendary status? So there's competition in this field. You are excelling in the field. Does it then add on to your legendary status? Or once you monopolize it and you're the only one good in that field, then you become a legend? Uncle Fred?
No. One man's arm can never encompass a baobab tree. No matter how legendary you are, you still need the support of others. But in terms of your pinnacle, I mean, there are certain situations that you don't deviate from the norm. So, for instance, if you take my legendary status, I haven't attended any music school before. I have not attended any sound engineering school before. Everything was led by myself. And I had 1 or 2 practical experience from others. But if you look at my legendary status, the kind of production that I have done, the people that have passed through my hands, even only 2, JQ and Apiatus only. But I have trained about 75 sound engineers, recorded almost about 1,000 Ghanaians. If you look at that kind of, you can say that I'm a legend in that field. And I didn't do that one on myself alone. The other people also help. For instance, if I play a rhythm in a studio, and then it comes out, like My Day I Did the Day by Mary Japan. It was done in my studio, outside behind the computer. But because I wanted that music to go a certain notch, I also added few musicians to, to come and help. So if you listen to the song, the drum patterns was done by me. There was a particular guy who's called Soronko, may he rest in peace. Very, very good at the bass line. So I asked him to come and play, don. Very simple. And there were some horns to another engineer that I treated, Joe Palupa, unfortunately, he also died. But the rest of the arpeggios, all of them in the strings were all done by me. So my legendary status stems from the fact that I also give other people the opportunity to also serve in that space. So it's not that kind of monopolistic kind of thing that now somebody can sit in the studio and says everything was done by him.
By me.
Yeah,
so it makes him a legend.
Yes, because if you did the thing alone, somebody who did a BVs is also part of the creation of that kind of way. So legendary status depends on how you want to couch that word to fit into that particular situation. That's about a legend, as he said. You can be an armed robber, you can be a legend in the armed robbery.
Yes.
But here we are talking specifically about
music.
So
positive impact.
Yeah, so the positive impact. So in Ghana, for instance, if you can name people like Ebo Taylor, if you look at the high life trend from the 1950s, playing with Fela, going to school in London, incorporating a lot of guitar, strummings in various music, where people have even replicated some of his music. You can say Ebo Taylor. And now, he and Konimo are the longest living musicians, who play the guitar around. Ebo Taylor will be around 90, Konimo is almost around 94. We have the likes of Pat Thomas, who just celebrated his birthday, Swanton Cancer, and few others, Oboba J. They are left, if not grown ones, they are left with few. So we are also taking up that kind of legendary status. So legends can be compared. For instance, if you compare my experience of 40 years, I cannot be compared to people like Sami Hawani or Zab Mallet. They surpass that 40 years. They are about 42, 43. So they are my seniors. Though we are doing the same kind of. So I give that kind of respect in terms of that legendary status. Though if you lump all of us, at least we are in the same kind of category. But in terms of certain higher positions, they go far. No matter how far your hometown is,
someone is farther than
for sure.
To top up with what Uncle is saying, the legendary status holds no meaning if you don't have yardstick to compare with. There should be a basket or a pool of people pursuing the same or towing the same line for you to stand out to become a legend. So if there's no comparison stick, I think it's worthless to tag yourself a legend. So monopoly doesn't really stamp the legendary status for you. There need to be that
competition
reference where, okay, why is this same flower sold as 20 cedis here at City TV? But this same thing, when we talk about this same
ChannelOne
thing,
TV.
ChannelOne TV, sorry, let me eat back. ChannelOne TV sold at 20 Ghana cedis. This same thing was repositioned to a place and it sold as 40 cedis. That same product elsewhere is discussed differently with different pricing. Why is Uncle Fred being celebrated? He has age mate he started with and all that. But we still here borrowing into his expertise. So for me, I think this might sound controversial, but you can do legendary stuff, but does not necessarily make you a legend.
It's true.
You can do legendary stuff.
Yes, there are some stuff that are legendary.
Okay.
You might do something that perhaps by virtue of the fact that you are the first to have done it.
That's a legend.
You don't even need to be an expert to make a record. I get it. You can make record out of the blue. I mean, with anything. You can make record as the first producer to have amassed this kind of whatever in your production. But it doesn't mean you are into the culture. Perhaps you took the benefit of the digital age and it gave you that record. Legendary, but you are not a legend. So the dues paid to acquire the legendary status is beyond just achieving legendary status. So, like I said, there are people who have done very perishable legendary stuff. They came, they broke a record, but they didn't put themselves worthy to sustain. So yes, you have done legendary stuff. That's on record. But you're not a legend.
So I mean, let's say the first Ghanaian to perform at maybe one of the biggest festivals in the world. That's a legendary
stuff. It's legendary.
But it doesn't necessarily make you
a legend.
A legend. All right. Now let's bring it down to this whole conversation about Daddy Lumba and Michael Jackson and who is a legend and all of that. Is it fair to compare Daddy Lumba to Michael Jackson or to compare Michael Jackson to Daddy Lumba?
The first time I will not be on the same page with Uncle, and I hate it. I hate it. Well, so I think I was the earliest packers of that conversation. When I was being interviewed, when I visited Daddy Lumba's home to sympathize with the family. So I was being asked what I think about him. And to me, in the local parlance, I said, let me quote my own self. Broni na enti brofuntia kenye Michael Jackson tipeni that Lumba. Sonically, premised it on Sonic.
Sonic, okay.
So that was it.
Yes, that was my premise, uncle.
I see.
That what has bedeviled that Lumba is his geographical or demographics. One, first disadvantage. Talking about 300 million population where Michael Jackson controlled, and how easy is it to affect other globes than a 30 million population, even as it stands now.
But I mean, it shouldn't really matter, but I feel your point.
Yeah, no, but you use the Jamaican, but Jamaicans are strategically and geographically positioned advantageously. So they're able to penetrate the American market. Look at where Ghana is positioned. So it will take 100 times as effort to penetrate than a Jamaican will penetrate the US market, which is the most fertile market for every musician. What first place? Yeah, 2, language barrier, predominantly. 3, marketing, where label may come in. Has Michael Jackson enjoyed all these things? Yes. What does label come with? Sometimes label even let you relax your thought process and do everything for you. Yours is just to come and sing. Michael Jackson is an impeccable artist. Yes, I agree. But sonically, is he the best? No. So you can be the biggest and the influential artist without being the best sonically. These are music achievements. Has got nothing to do with the musical element. That is what I'm saying, that on any day, no one born of man and woman on earth and the sea in the skies can convince me portfolio that Michael Jackson is a better artist in terms of artistry and sonical composition than that Lumba. No. But then again, the bigger discussion is, look, Uncle is here. Anything I do archival blunder, I commit archival blunder. Uncle should correct me. Uncle, has there ever been any receipt to that Lumba having a ghostwriter ever in his musical lifetime that you know of? Uncle is here. There is an archive bank over here. Not that I know of yet.
Yeah, not to the best of my knowledge.
Yes. Even those who wanted to collaborate with him, some he wrote for. There are songs I'm learning that he wrote, but he wanted to remain anonymous. Some he invested in. Those he allowed to write, it was a joint production, which he coached. Are there receipts that Michael Jackson has ghostwriters? We bought a whole industry of ghostwriters for him sometimes, where they were credited on his project many times.
So with all of this, right? For me, does it then put Daddy Lumba ahead of Michael Jackson?
Sonically, yes.
All right.
No, not based on that. And then 2, you see, even if people want to even use this whole influence, people fall in there because he has an organized database of whatever transpired in his career journey. If we tell you how many people fainted because of that Lumba, you don't know, because there's no label that is well calculated. Day after day, having database, and even posthumously, they will use his numbers even after his death, whatever, because there's an estate managing his posthumous materials. If that Lumba has that with his geographical position, on any day, I am saying that artistically, sonically, that Lumba and Michael Jackson, it's like Trasako and Zongo. They gotta be wide. Forget about everything.
Thank you very much, Uncle Fred.
Very dicey situation. I'll go straight to the point.
Yeah.
The jurisdiction is quite different in terms of where it started. If you look, the video that you just played, We Are The World was started in 1984 and then released in 1985. In 1985, Germain, our famous Germain, also released his
is it High G Major?
High G Major.
Yeah.
They said, and then he mimicked Michael Jackson, where he was even taken. That's what even gave him the upper hand to go abroad and then further his craft. Now, if you look at the journey of Michael Jackson, he was born in 1958. By the age of 7, he had been discovered by the likes of Dana Ross, and then Goodberry of Motown Records. And if you look at the performances that he carried along that time till they formed the Jackson 5, and then he came in around 1979, departing from the main group. If you look at his records, Charlie, we can't compare that to Lumba in terms of that aspect. But I like what Germain was saying.
Yeah.
That most of the songs that the Lumba wrote, almost all of them were by himself. With the exception of maybe collaborating with Mensah on that album and few others that were written by those that he collaborated with. But in terms of Michael Jackson, a lot of people wrote songs for him. But in terms of the structure, the opulence, the kind of society that he got himself involved, where he wasn't limited to any kind of production aspect. Where they could spend about maybe 1 month even on one song. Michael Jackson that has that kind of record. Yes, we are bereaved that the Lumba is dead, so comparison in certain areas can be understood. But originally, if you want to compare the works, I don't know how many albums Michael Jackson has, but Lumba has about 33 albums.
Yes.
For a career that spanned almost about 30, because 89 that he came. So 89 up to 2000 is 36 years.
Right.
Okay, Michael Jackson also died in 2009.
His album was not even up to 15. 15 that I know of.
His albums.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you look at the major concerts, the influence, the paraphernalias that he had, people who had used him in terms of commercial, like the Coke, Pepsi Cola and a whole lot of things. He stands tall among them. So if Germain is talking about people writing songs for Michael Jackson and Lumba, for that one, it can be compared. But in terms of popularity or how they stand tall, I'm sorry, Lumba cannot be compared in that area as to Michael Jackson. No. We shouldn't do that at all.
So, I mean, trying to pick up something off the internet, right? It says Michael Jackson released 10 studio albums. 10 studio albums, 5 soundtrack albums, and 55 compilation albums.
55 compilation
albums, right? So, I mean, when you look at the works and everything, now, it then brings us back to the conversation, right? That is it your sonic nature that makes you a legend? Or it is, like we said earlier, your works and your impact that will give you that legendary status?
All of them combined. But Portfolio was just, trying to separate certain issues from others. That you can't say the person is legendary because of a certain situation. It has to, there are certain additives that must form, come into form so that you can form that kind of basis for you to tell somebody that that person is a legend. So if you look at the works of Michael Jackson, most of his TV appearances, traveling all over the world, that legendary status is there as an artist who traveled the most in his career. That Lumba can never be compared to that of Michael Jackson. But if you also look at our jurisdiction, between 1989 up to now, if you look at some of the musicians, those people that can be compared to Lumba around is Kojon Tree and Amachi Dede in terms of their traveling experience. Because Lumba, he came at a time that his music cuts across. The older generation, they like the middle and then the younger generation.
Even now, we are still enjoying.
That's what makes him a special being in terms of the music structure in Ghana here. That's why when he died, everybody, is involved in his funeral or something of that sort. But comparing him to Michael Jackson in that type of strength, Charlie, it's just as you say, comparing oranges and apples. So that you will not be, because now let me go back to relics of time. 79, the first time the video came to Ghana, was in 1979-80. Kumasi, Boga did TV by Color TV. At that time, Lumba and then Papa Shi, they were doing dancing competitions around Mampong and those kind of things. And they were mimicking Michael Jackson.
So he even had influence on them.
That's right. So if you listen to the songs that you played, Lumba intentionally did it 10 years at the celebration of We Are the World. Because it came in 1985 and he released his own in 1995. In 1995, Lumba strategically, this guy was on top, the South African guy who was shot,
Lucky Dube.
So if you listen to the rhythm, in terms of the flute structure, that were the pages that were, he took all of them from the likes of Lucky Dube to infuse his own too in terms of the music. So he used reggae, and then the Lumba with the Michael Jackson with the influence of the guys like Lionel Richie and others also use the kind of soul music that they produce with this guy who just died, their producer.
Jimmy Jones?
No. I'll tell you. The famous producer.
So you see across all the cross section of genres how he's been able to explore and at least register an imprint over there. To the extent that now that Stonebwoy has labeled Afro dancehall better, he is still in the conversation. So ideally, that Lumba is a pioneer of Afro dancehall with Stonebwoy labeled. It is beyond genius.
Quincy Jones.
Yes,
not Jimmy
Jones.
Jones. Sorry, Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones.
I mean, he broke the rules of music. So that is why Uncle was specific on that merit. No, I won't go there. But look, someone who has an imprint for every type of mood in this world. At least you can have a pool of genres that Michael Jackson has influenced, and even beyond his scope. You can say that if you take percentage or statistically, top of mind we know of his dance, everybody. But music enthusiasts know of Michael Jackson's music. But look at this disease legend. He has broken the rules of music algorithm in that beyond his generation, Gen Zs who first of all didn't want to be attached to anything high life because young guy, fresh guy, wash you shoe now what it. But that Lumba became an exception because they really want to invite him into their world beyond legendary. So sonically, bro.
Yes,
this thing there, no one is
because most of
no one is touching
lyrics
Daddy
that were handled by Daddy Lumba evolved around his lifestyle, and it permeates through every lifestyle from generation till the time you all go. What he said, it reflects in everybody's life. I think this seat, maybe somebody was there before you came. You did your own, and then so it reflects in everybody. You know, so generation songs, those people who write generation songs, they think of the future, blend it with the characters of the individual who. So that's why Michael Jackson, if you listen to most of his songs, those people who were playing, he did like arpeggios, like human nature. Why? Tell me about this human nature. If it's human nature, they were saying that some of the arpeggio lines even came from Ghana. Bro, say, you know, all this has been very discussed. So you too had that kind of level, but when you come here in our jurisdiction, even the likes of Kyei and Almachi, even know that yes, that Lumba, when it comes to the poetic language, in terms of how he counts his works, you know, write his songs. It permeates through them, you know, lyrical membranes of anybody who really listens. So that score, sorry, I agree with you.
And the fact that he has got everyone brainstorming now. Me, I'm there reading about Bubonia. Currently, I want to know the woodpecker. I want to read more about woodpecker because of why didn't I find woodpecker as a bird worthy of research? Why now? I'm going to find about like a lot of things that is making sense. Rhythmically, I was connecting to the song, but now lyrically, I'm connecting more. Now, after his demise,
because the what he's doing, that bird is doing is prone to death,
bro.
But for you to use your beak, you know, for your beak, so, you know, for you to hammer on the mood, I mean, no
one is touching him.
Anyway, but for most people, right? For me, I always say, to be in Ghana, I feel like we should rather be excited that our own is being compared to somebody that the whole world is seeing, rather than trying to like fight it and try to make, I don't know how to put it,
like you commit blasphemy. Say
So you get. So I feel like we should rather be excited.
No, industry sometimes too, in a competitive world that is thrives on agenda. Me, there is no way. Sometimes even we are so it's conscious agenda. That is what our Nigerian brothers sometimes they do. No matter what, they won't elevate you over this. They have their internal differences, but when it's them against the world for agenda purposes, they have to drum into your mind and rubbish is in your faces that DS is best, even when it's clear that it's nowhere close.
It's true,
right? So I saw after this generation, I saw some BBC blogs taking up the debates. that a legend who is being compared to Michael Jackson, and it's also sparked another debate over there. So then it also invites interest from other worlds into who is this man. Conscious agenda is also part of industry driving strategies.
Wow. And one thing that we also don't forget is that the structures in the United States, in terms of their music structure, their compensations in terms of their music right is solid. Somebody like Elvis Presley, he died in 1977, August. And today's date is 15th August.
No, today is 16.
Yeah, I think 20. He died, you can search it for me. For almost 48 years, this man is still making money. I'm saying, we will bury Lumba. At the end of the day, if you go to any of the copyright issues, you will not even get penny, will not even a peso from there. So his legacy, I'm afraid, for Lumba's legacy, that after he's been buried, Charlie, he'll be forgotten like how CK and Nanam Purdue, the AB Queens have been also be forgotten. But then you don't forget, as at now, Elvis Presley is earning even more than when he was alive. The same thing applies to Michael Jackson. His home in that region has been cordoned off and then it's being used as an storage attraction. Are you going to have the same thing that Lumba's house in East Legon? They will find some place for the family so that that place will be used for a tourist attraction. I've said my studio at Circle, where he got bent. That was the very room that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah rented when he came to Ghana in 1948. Fredima Studios. I've told this one severally that the tourism ministry can even come there. You and I were not there in 1948. Get some old lamps, be some food, and then put it there and say this.
It's the way you say it sometimes.
But they won't do. But if you go to American Wine right now, you can. If you want to know everything about Michael Jackson, it's there. And that's why he defeats Lumba in that sector.
So is it the case that even the industry structures can contribute to making an artist a legend?
Yes. Industry structures. Yeah, no. Go to Lumba and ask him how much he received from the copyright or
royalties.
Ask him. I was there with the late Mark Tonto. From one collection society, he received almost £2,500 from only one collection for playing trumpet on people's music for every month. Here,
I feel the legendary narrative can be engineered or blown out of proportion. It is like this. If you have structures, we can make it like this for you.
Oh.
So that comparison can be there.
So it's a world of perception control sometimes. Look, Sarkodie has achieved a legendary CV. But because he didn't have structures or was not signed to a label, the narrative went in favor of Burna Boy. Sarkodie was the first Afrobeat artist to have sold out, is it the Indigo O2 or the Apollo? But when Burna Boy did,
Apollo,
one of them,
Apollo Theatre.
Complex UK credited that to Burna Boy, and Sarkodie was complaining bitterly.
Actually, to make things more interesting, so there is a man I know.
Right.
He's forgotten his name, but he was actually the first. So it wasn't even Sarkodie. It was even that Lumba. If you talk about Apollo Theatre, that Lumba was the first to fill it up by a Ghanaian single-handedly.
But even with this one, I'm talking about Afrobeat artists.
Is that?
Yeah, here as Achiame.
Yes, Achiame also did it. So that Lumba did it, Achiame did it, then Sarkodie.
So when Sarkodie was claiming that ownership, Achiame came to correct him that you are not, because Sarkodie was also going about chest up and shoulder as the first rapper. But Achiame came to correct him. However, in the discussion of Afrobeat, Sarkodie is in there. For Africa, for Ghana.
So when you look at
Afrobeat artists, and the portal credited Burna Boy. This was the first time I've heard Sarkodie bitterly complaining about some. You know how his approach to certain issues, the cat approach, but for the first time, because of structures, the structures were planted in your memory. So legendary status sometimes can be machinated or engineered if you have good structures. So that if it's like this, raw, can blow it like this, then it sits in your memory.
So what do we have to do before we go? What do we have to do in our industry to actually protect one, and then also trumpet the legendary status of our artists? Because I feel like with this conversation we are having, when you look at the Ghanaian music landscape, I can confidently say we have a good number of people that we can say this is a legend. but probably the industry is not actually blowing it out of proportion like you're saying. So what can we do?
Yeah, one, lack of data. We don't have data on our music industry. I mean, had it not been me or other people writing about the music industry, trying to tell our story, there's nothing like that. Fortunately, I had the opportunity to sit with these industry legends. So they told me some, I also experienced themselves. So if you want us to celebrate them, which means we have to have their database. For instance, if you go to Kumasi Patase roundabout, there is KJC's house. Can the government even go there and say, look, Dr. KJC, you want to have access to your old guitars or something? He's dead, but I think he has somebody who
is now
he has an
oversees
estate,
the
yeah.
place.
We can do the same and then go to Rotary Park. Have a small room. We have KJC there, Onyina, all the people from Ashanti region, Kunadu, and then others. So that we can display what they left behind. But if you ask the younger generation about King Onyina, a lot of people like the Germain copied him. From Ghana here. The strumming of guitar in terms of the chord that progressions, the duets and the tries that they play. Most of them copied them from here. He was the only first Ghanaian to incorporate jazz rhythms. Yes, my keys into high life. Go and listen to his high life. He's gone. There's no data on him, nothing. So had it not been this guy from Holland, Germain who is trying to, replicate some of the music that he and Kweku Mensah, they'll be forgotten. That's why I was saying that when Lumba is buried, I've said this is about the fourth time I'm saying it, Ghanaians will forget about him, and that legendary status will be gone. But he just still be celebrated on every 7th July. That's when he died, I think, in 29th June or something of that 2009. He's been celebrated because the stretches are such that if you go to where they were living, you can find something about Michael Jackson, and they have a lot. Who has even written a book about Daddy Lumba?
All right. Anything you want to add?
Bro, agenda. Renewal of mind. Read the music consumers. How we position our creatives.
Agenda.
No, it's
Everything
part
agenda.
Agenda.
Propaganda is part of life. That's
the political parties, they have a whole office and secretariat dedicated to propaganda. And you think agenda is not part
people will shoot on the green screen and the blue screen and let you know that Moses is crossing the sea.
Bro, me agenda, whatever you do, Otunfo is bigger than Trump for me.
Yes.
It's
Agenda setting.
I review Otunfo than Trump. Wherever I go, Otunfo is bigger. Agenda. 2, capacity building. We need our people to be planted at boardrooms where the conversation go on.
Yes, for
the big places, the cartels, the executive. We should have more Ghanaian representatives. They have to build their capacity to be there so that we grow with the artists. So that our names can be mentioned, our people can be plugged in places that has eyeballs. Because you know what? You can achieve all the legendary stuff. But if it is not done at places that are recognized by these bodies that do the database system, your Ghanaians are almost selling out places.
Yeah.
But there are places when you do the same thing, it's recognized. So we need people, executive and knowledge to know that this thing you are doing is good, but executed wrongly. Do it like this so that it can put you in the conversation. Then also, our creatives who want our help should not think that when we talk about help, it's about them only. They are selfish on that. Whilst we want to empower them, they should know that we are building an ecosystem, not artists or creatives only. So they also owe a duty to empower the very system that we create for them. If you go to Nigeria, now you see how Afrobeat has been able to dominate. Whilst their event, Afrofuture, is also pulling along. The guy came to confess that there was a time he was out of budget, but because of the interest of Afrobeat, risk it, how to support him or cushion him with an amount of money so that he pushes the Afrobeat agenda so that he invade other territories. Symbiotic relationship. And finally, let's find a way to immortalize our legends by what Uncle Fresh said. Let's make beyond them. Let's immortalize them by managing their estate. Government is involved. Proper executives who are well-versed or the government has invested in and become well-versed in managing the estate of legends. That is how we manage so that at least we can work chest up and shoulder high to celebrate our creatives after death so that we can really tag ourselves that we do have the legends as we put it.
We have Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah.
For instance, Adam Padu is credited as the person in the whole world who wrote a lot of, you know.
If I was
lyrics.
there, if I was in that meeting,
But who is going
I'll
to
put
you know,
him there.
fight for that kind of?
I'll put him there.
Wow. Thank you very much, Uncle Fred. Thank you very
It's
much.
very nice.
Germain Portfolio. I mean, we should do this another time, actually, because, I mean, it's been very, very insightful. It's been very, very educative as well. And, I mean, thank you very much for also sticking and staying with me. We are not ending yet. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we have more for you right here on The Chat. Don't go anywhere. Stick and stay.